Well, hello, everybody. Welcome again to another tutorial video. Now, this video is help to support you with doing thumbnail drawings and building those thumbnail drawings into working drawings. Now, one of the major things that's a big disconnect when people are playing with this is value. So a lot of times people get confused between color and value. So I have a few different photos here, and I think these are some of the photos that I've shared with you guys. I honestly can't remember because I have so many photos. So I'm going to play around with this one right in through here, and let's say that this was something that I wanted to work into. I've done some thumbnail drawings and I want to maybe do a working drawing that's a little bit longer, and I want to explore a little bit more with the values. And greens are kind of tricky colors because the values of greens can be very confusing. So all the shadowed side on the left there, that's bluer. All the side on the right here, that's a little bit more of a yellowy green. Sometimes these can get really funny with understanding just lights and darks. So the first thing that I'm going to do here is I'm going to go into the edit button, and right at the very top here is already in that fancy little sundial. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through this fancy little sundial, and I'm going to go and find, oops, I missed it, saturation. Now this is a real fun thing because if you go one direction, it like cranks up all the color and it super saturates it. But if you go the other way on the dial, it actually removes all the color. So this right here is one of the best things that I do with my students all the time who are struggling with values from their photo references. If you desaturate the photo, it's going to give you the value structure so that you can understand the lights and darks. So for example, if you look at that bank of tree that was in the back over on the left there, and then those other trees that are on the right, they are kind of similar values. So even though the colors were very different, the values are kind of similar. And that's important when we're trying to do value studies. Now, let's say, actually, let's get out of this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to screenshot this. So, and I'm sure you guys are getting used to screenshots. So if I was working with this into a painting or a working drawing, I might keep this for future reference so that I can understand how light and dark to make my different types of greens and stuff. So I'll hit done. Here you go. Now I'm going to hit cancel because I actually really like this photo the way it is. Oops, I totally snorted on a video. Oh my God, I'm such a nerd. Oh, and I'm probably not going to edit that out either. Okay, anyway, carrying on. I'm gonna choose another photo. Okay, so this one right here is some beautiful mountains, and what I'm going to do is hit the edit button. Once again, go into the saturation, and I will totally desaturate this so that it's now a black and white photo. Ooh, I actually really like that. That's super pretty. Now, let's say maybe, because the point of doing thumbnail drawings and then turning the thumbnail drawings into the working drawings is we can move mountains in drawings. We can manipulate things. We can shift placements, and we can play with the lights and the darks. So we can play with the values. So what I'm going to do here, just for fun, just to show you different ways that you can explore things, is I'm now going to go into contrast. So if I go to contrast and if I just go, I always like to go do the extremes just to see what it looks like on the furthest range. And this is kind of lame. So that whole front bank of mountains really kind of blends into that second bank of mountain, kind of that rolling hill right before the mountain. And I do prefer the way that there's a bit more of a separation. I really like that. And that's kind of where the photo was originally. I have actually edited these photos already, so it's good to see I'm consistent with what I like. But just for fun, let's explore going to the other side of things. Okay, so this is one of these neat moments. If I completely take the contrast down So the values in here are a lot closer together. Do you see how there's that light peak on the mountain back in the distance that all of a sudden becomes much more noticeable? I feel like this whole vibe now has changed, that it feels like it's a misty mountain scene with lots of rolling mist. And how wonderful. If you look to the right from that highlighted mountain tip, do you notice how there's almost a circular like shape of a lighter value in the sky? Those two placements of those elements kind of act as a bit of a teeter-totter design. Now, if you've got that teeter-totter between those two elements, do you notice how the mountains sort of zig and zag and roll down the hills into the trees? So this is a great design that I feel like there's a lot of potential right here with playing around with the value and emphasizing that mountain tip and emphasizing that light area in the clouds. And I also feel like there's a lot of potential even with this. Now with this, we don't really see that lighter in the clouds as much, and it's definitely more of an emphasis on the mountains. So maybe that teeter-totter aspect is now gone, but the zigzag design of this is actually still really good. So there's lots of things that you can play with in this. So as per usual, if there's anything that you find when you're playing around with these, screenshot them. I think what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to hit cancel so it goes back to the original. And let's just do one more together. I'm going to go into this one for a moment, and I'd like to explore another editing option. So we've been working mostly in the little sundial for the moment, and that gives you the true values of these colors. And then it gives you, working with the contrast tool, how you can make the contrast really extreme, so the values are very far apart and they look like black against white, or you can make the values so that they're closer together and the contrast is lower and the values are, well, closer together. So that's a way of playing with it with this. Now, if you go to the right side of the screen here, we've got the sundial. In the center are the three little circles and the bottom is the cropping tool. I'm going to go to the three little circles because this is another kind of neat thing that we can play with. Now, down at the very bottom here, these are pre-made filters that Apple, that made my phone, has sort of come up with. Now, these three filters at the bottom, you can see this one's called mono, this one's called silver tone, and this is called noir. You can see that these are black and white filters that have already played around with desaturation, different types of contrast, and look at how it's played with the values in different parts. Like, look at the sky, how it changes from the noir to the silver tone. You can see that the sky has really kind of lightened up. This area in through here, if you look at the bank of trees that's on the right with the little bush that's on the right, you can see that those values have become a lot closer together in the mono. You can see in through here, the little bush in the foreground is significantly darker. And so just how things kind of change. So once again, that gives you tools and different ideas to manipulate and play with when you're working with your original quick thumbnail designs. So you know your general format that you're working with. You can think about your flow lines. You can think about your elements and where you're placing things. And when you really like something, then you take it to the working drawing. And the working drawing is a slightly larger drawing. And we're not talking huge because, right, these are drawings for paintings. So it's not drawings for drawings. So what we want to do is keep these about the size of a photograph, definitely smaller than an 8x10 page. And the working drawing is meant to work out any other things that you want to try to experiment with the values. That's why I'm trying to show you this. So the values you can manipulate in your working drawings, or truly, maybe you want to keep them the same as what they actually are in your photo, and that's totally okay. But the working drawings will give you a little bit more time to explore a little bit more of the details of your inspiration photo so you know how you want to manipulate it. So I'm going to discard those changes and go back to here. I hope that gives you guys a little bit more support with just different tricks you can do with editing software on the phone to give you different ideas. And I look forward to see the thumbnail drawings that you guys choose this week from your cropped formats that we worked with from a previous project. And from those thumbnail drawings, I'd like you to choose one of those thumbnail drawings that you're going to do a larger version and make it a working drawing. Well, that's it. That's all. So bye for now, folks, and I look forward to seeing you on our critique. Bye.